Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Magic Hour. I'm your host, Magic Leb, aka Magic A, aka Can't Get a Job in a White Man's Country. Today, my guest is Sammy G, or Samer Ghamrawi AKA Sekseed. He is a motivational speaker who inspires students around schools all around Adelaide. And we're here today to talk about how his work has positively affected the young minds of today. Samer, thanks for joining me.
No worries, bro.
Welcome to
No
episode
worries.
number 2 of the Magic Hour.
Number two.
Numero dos. All right. So tell me, man, what made you, out of all the professions that you could have taken, what made you want to be a motivational speaker?
It's a funny story. I guess it goes back to high school. So in high school, I used to get told off a lot for speaking.
Okay.
And very respectful, very, funny. But my dad always taught me education. So I was always studious.
Okay.
I liked to learn and I liked school.
I love that word, studious. You got a nice vocabulary. Sorry to interrupt.
Well,
Continue.
We try, my brother.
No, it's
we
good.
try,
It's good.
you
It's
know?
good. It's good.
It is a good word, actually.
People don't use that very often.
They don't.
So it's very good to hear it now.
Yeah, they don't. I'll have another word for you too that I quite love, and it's automaticity.
Oh, wow. I'm very meticulous when it comes to big words.
Oh, meticulous. We love it. And I do fathom what you are saying.
Oh, that's unbelievably wonderful. Now you put me on the spot. This is a battle now of vocabulary. See, people shouldn't have to beat the shit out of each other. They should try to match wits, using big words.
Yeah, battle rhymes, battle vocab, that's good, yeah. So, but one teacher, my year 11 English and drama teacher, shout out Michelle Rogers. I actually hit her up on LinkedIn last year. I found her and I sort of knew it was her, and I looked at her, at her bio, and I saw that she had taught in Adelaide, and I said, hey, I want to let you know, thank you so much for speaking into my life. So every other teacher said, Sam, great student, but talks too much. Sam, wonderful student, but asks too many questions. This is obviously predating Google. So, and you've got a Britannica encyclopedia collection right there, which is beautiful too.
We've had that since the 80s,
I have no doubt the brown and blue took me back to the 80s for sure. So back in those days, questions weren't just answered on the spot. If they didn't know, they didn't know. And if depending on the teacher, if they didn't want to look silly, they would, shut you down. If they were like, oh, I'm not sure about that, Sam, let's figure that out. That was my kind of teacher. Okay. And she said to me, Sam, one day you're going to be an entertainer. In my mind, I'm like, I'm going to be an actor. So I said to my dad, I'm going to be an actor. And he says, don't be stupid. I was like, Dad, Home and Away needs a Lebanese kid,
Well, you know what? If Home and Away did put a couple of wogs in there, Lebanese wogs, it definitely would have spiced it up a little bit.
100%
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? And all the white people in the neighborhood would be pissed off because their white chick is going out with the Lebanese guy. It would have created that racism factor into it,
Exactly.
No. I hear what you're saying. I wanted to be an actor when I was 7 years old. My mother never took me seriously.
Yeah.
All right. So, and
that's why you became a comedian.
Pretty much so. Because I'm pissed off with the way my life turned out. So I thought I'd just make my life a joke. You know what I mean? All right. Because we were at school and they said to us, "What would you like to be when you grow up?" And all these kids were coming up with all these options. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a policeman, whatever. And I said, you know what? I want to be an actor. He goes, why? Because I can be all those things. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Right? Because I can do all those things without having to go to school to do all those things. To learn how to do that profession.
Yeah.
And I was really, really serious about it. From 7, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. But then again, I don't blame my mum for not taking me seriously. I have an 11-year-old son who I don't take seriously right now. Right? When he tells me what he wants to do. All right. I mean, I gave him only one instruction. I said, listen, you're 11. You got till 13. When you're 13 years old, you have to tell me what it is that you want to be.
Yeah.
All right. Because by the time you're 13 and you figured it out, then I'm going to spend the next 5 years till you're 18 on how to become that.
Right.
All right. Get him on the ground floor now. So by the time he gets to uni, he's already ahead of the others. He knows what he wants. But that's for another thing. Let's get back to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have never, ever heard any teacher saying to any student, you ask too many questions.
Yeah.
I've heard you're asking silly questions, but too many questions.
Because, when you ask too many questions, to them, they think it's silly. For example, back in the day, I clearly remember saying to me, wait, but how can we come through a rocket into the atmosphere, inside, and then land on the land in the earth? But then on the moon, we just land on the moon.
It doesn't make much sense now, does it? Like,
Right? It didn't make sense to me at the time, but they didn't know how to answer me. So they said it was a silly question. Stop asking silly questions. I was genuine. I asked a lot of questions. My dad, obviously Lebanese, and I guess we are the original conspiracy theorists. I'll put it out there. I believe as Arabs. Well, we're not Arabs, but you know what
we're
I mean.
Venetians.
Venetians,
Lebanese
that's
people.
right.
Lebanese people are originally Venetians. So when
We
you go
are.
out there and you're calling us, you goddamn Arab,
Yeah,
you're
we
talking
ain't
about other
Arabs.
people.
We speak Arabic.
Yeah.
But we are actually Phoenicians. We're on the coast. Yeah, we're the first seafarers of them all, actually.
You better recognize.
That's right. That's right. Okay. And so, yeah, so asking lots of questions. Then I get to school, end of school, and I'm like, okay, what do I want to do? I want to travel. I love people. I want to get paid, and I like partying.
Yeah, who doesn't?
I like dancing. I like, tourism.
Mm-hmm.
So I go, okay, I'm going to do it.
Sorry, tourism, not terrorism.
Yeah.
All right? We don't want you to think something else here just because two Arabs or Venetians are getting together and talking. We're not doing that live or on the thing that we're going to plot against you people, right?
That's good.
Tourism, where white people go. All right. If we want to have a tourism, we just go to our uncle's house and have fun. That's how we get tourism.
I like it. I like it.
Sorry,
so I did a degree in tourism and management hospitality.
Nice.
Tourism and hospitality management, and majoring in ecotourism, which at the time, we're talking 1999, was a very new industry. It was basically because all these people are starting to travel like never before, but how do we lessen the impact on the environment? Or how then do we include the environment as a part of this tourism package? And that's basically what I did. Midway through, I actually started working in hotels, and then I was like, this is not really what I want to do. But I finished.
Yeah.
I finished.
So you got the course,
I got the degree, done. Gave it to my dad. There you go, Dad. Put it on the wall, done.
Right.
But now I got into sales.
Okay.
And so sales drew me in because it said to me, well, number one, I'm a good talker. Number two, I love people. Number three, I'm outdoors. We went door to door, right? It was one of my first sales jobs, door to door for Optus or AT&T communication back in the day. And my mum said, but Habib, what if you don't sell? Because commission works like if you sell, you make money. And I think the going rate back then was $30 or $40 per sale.
Okay.
So to me, I'm like, are you telling me I could go around for 2 or 3 hours, make 10, make $300? My mum's like, what if you don't sell?
Yeah.
But my mindset was, I'm never going to not sell.
See, see, that's the thing, right? Sorry to interrupt. I have to say this. Like, I tried sales right after high school before I even went to uni, and I was looking for the kind of work that had the least amount of responsibility, so I can make money and do practically nothing.
Right.
So what did I do? I became an Avon person.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Avon.
Right.
Yes.
But the thing is, I didn't even know what that was. I just somebody just said if you sell these products, you get paid. Okay, that sounds easy enough. Now the thing is, I admire salespeople because I can't be a salesperson.
Right.
I can't sell water to a man dying of thirst. All right.
Usually, as Arabs, they say we sell ice to Eskimos or sand to
that's
Arabs.
the thing. So you can sell sand to a sand farmer.
Yeah.
People who are in sales, and I admire that because I don't know what technique it is that they speak. So, like, I'm a filmmaker, so whenever I want to get a client. I don't tell him the same BS that other people will do. I'll just show him my work. Did you like this video? He goes, yeah, I can do it for you. That's my sales, just my work. But there are people who can't film for shit, but they know how to speak. Yeah. And they get these big ass projects. I'm like, how the fuck did you do it?
Yeah.
All right. I need you on my team.
Yeah.
Because I've got the talent and you've got the mouth.
Yeah.
All right. Let's put it together.
Yeah.
All right. But then again, it's hard to find people that would, want to work like that, especially when they can pocket the entire 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if the quality is crap, they don't care. They got paid. And even if they got criticized from their film, they got paid.
They got paid.
Me, I have to make a good product.
Right.
All right. Whether it was $100 project or a $10,000 project.
Yeah.
It has to be top notch every single time.
Yeah.
All right. And that's how I did my selling.
Right.
But going back to what you were saying, so you got into sales.
Yeah.
And you dominated the sales.
Yeah.
field?
I was quite good. Like some probably one of the best in the country. I then brought another cousin on who also became one of the best in the country.
Wow.
And we just made good money. And from that, though, what people don't realize is door to door, I would urge everyone to do, because it does a number of things. Number one, you overcome fear, anxiety, rejection. You have to have a great attitude, because some guy slams the door in your face and you go, thanks so much, sir. Have a lovely day.
Yeah.
Right? You're faking it till you make it, but you're taking action. People always stop at the fake it till you make it. No. You still got to take action. Fake it till you make it and take action. Right?
Okay.
So smile. No worries, sir. Thank you so much. My mindset is like, every no gets me closer to the next yes.
Okay.
And so I started to really like this. I started to like the money. And then, by the way, side note, partying, drugs started to come into the scene. So I was pretty heavy into that party scene. So now I'm up and down, finishing a uni degree whilst I'm doing sales. It was pretty crazy. But then what I really liked was taking people that were no good at sales and then teaching them, training them, and making them guns.
Okay.
And so then I was like, oh, I really like this. Maybe this is what I want to do. And then I had like my first child. So then I'm like, oh, I need to buy a house. So I need to get serious. I don't really want to go door to door anymore, blah, blah, blah. How can I then transfer my skills into something that helps people? And I got into unemployment.
Okay.
So not me being unemployed, but helping the unemployed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So basically selling people to businesses, essentially, whilst helping them. But whilst doing that, I realized that job ready, the people that were job ready in inverted commas, weren't job ready at all. They may have done the job before, but now being unemployed 2, 3, 6 months more, bad habits, negative mindsets, laziness. So then I had to be like, what the heck? And I got into the personal development scene, like probably from about 20 years ago. And then, what if I can train them to be a better version of themselves, then give them to the employer?
Okay, that's
That was the transition.
that was amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. And so from there, then I did that for about 2 years. And then I went, you know what? I'm sick of working with broken adults. How about I go back to before they became broken adults? And I was broken too, even though I was helping people. I was on drugs, alcohol, gambling, this, that, all these problems, but I was helping other people.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because a lot of people who have struggled in their lives, right? Many of them turn to helping other individuals who are also struggling because they can relate.
Exactly.
And when they find and when they help somebody for the first time, they get that sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
That calling, and it kind of also just temporarily takes their mind away from their own struggle because of that fulfillment that they had by helping somebody else who was also struggling. Right? And like an addiction, it become, I help this guy, now I'm going to help more, because the more I help, the more I'm getting helped myself. You know what I mean? There's that sense of fulfillment, and the fact that there's a market for it now, that's like a dream come true.
Definitely.
You know? So was that the kind of experience that you were going through?
100%.
Okay.
100%. And seeing people way worse than me, knowing, okay, but I can get them to this level and then help them. If I could do it, they could do it.
Of course, yeah.
Right? And so then from there, I'm like, all right, by the way, ups and downs of life in between. I've had like 23 jobs from leaving school till now. Fired from my last 2. And, but before that, so just after that, I went, okay, got into fitness and sales again in the gyms. And then I was like, all right, I got fired from there. Actually, I've been fired from the last 3 out of 5 jobs.
Wow.
Because of the drugs, essentially.
Okay.
The drugs made you make bad decisions, silly decisions. You're not thinking, like, just silly things, nothing major, just...
Very coincidental that I'm
it's-
wearing this T-shirt today.
I know,
that
it's so
drugs
funny.
are bad. Okay. Now, I had no idea we were going to talk about
No.
drugs. I'm not a sidekick by any way, shape, or form. You know why I picked this T-shirt?
No.
because I needed an excuse to wear my green hat to match a green pants, a green shirt. That is the only reason why I'm wearing this shirt, so I can wear my green hat. Because I don't ever get a chance very often to wear this particular green hat. I got 20. You had 23 jobs. I've got 22 different kind of hats.
Wow.
That I'll wear if I had 22 different kind of jobs.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay, so you lost those jobs because of the drugs.
Really, yeah. So and then I'm like, okay, what do I want to do? And then I started actually helping youth. So I got into this life coaching certificate around teens, and a part of that, go into schools. I was volunteering, basically, not much money back then, but I'd sort of put away a bit of money from sales, etc. So we're just sort of doing that, and then a job came up for a bank here, and it was about teaching kids about money. So basically, all expenses paid, traveling around the country, car, laptop, phone, to teach kids about money. They had the program. You just bring in your own story and you facilitate.
How old were the kids?
They were high school.
High school.
Year 7 to 12.
Oh, so from 12 to
18.
17 to 18. My
Yeah,
God. Teaching 12-year-olds about money?
Yep.
That's dangerous.
Yep.
Right? Because then they know how much of a bigger allowance to ask for.
Yeah, that's right.
When
I even
they're-
taught kids how to get allowance off their parents.
Oh,
it was a great technique.
You just made life miserable for all those broke parents.
But by doing chores.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
There has to be something in return.
Like, what else can I do, Mum? Oh, how much is it if I can just make $2 a day? What do I need to do?
Yeah.
And the parents would list a few chores and they say, what else?
Yeah.
And by saying what else means that they are willing to do more. But as a parent, if your child says what else and you've already listed 3 things, you go, oh, wow. No, that's it, babe. That's just 3 things. And really, they're making $2 a day, but it's actually $14 a week.
Yeah.
And most days they don't have to do every single one of those chores. So it was a win-win, really.
Okay.
So teaching them how to make money, how to save money, how to even invest, and then even enterprise. So you don't have to go to Macca's to make money. You can start a business mowing your neighbor's lawns, walking your neighbor's dogs.
Yeah.
So opening their minds to this. At the same time, I was still struggling with the drug.
Wow. When did you get to the point where you're not on it now, are you? Okay. No, just messing around. When did you get to the point where you were able to kick it?
8 years ago.
No, wow.
Yeah, so I'm 43. So we're talking 35, 34, 35 years old.
So it took you 2 World Cup weights to get rid of that kicking. Okay,
Exactly
that's fantastic.
right. But I'm talking since I was 19 years old. So 19 to 34 is, what's that, 15 years?
Yeah.
Crazy, hey. Highly functional most of the time. Most people couldn't tell. But then it would sort of affect my life, like obviously leaving jobs because I got bored, and really good jobs.
Wow.
But I get bored. I'm over it. Bye. And not talking through the decision, just irrational.
Yeah.
Obviously getting fired for doing silly things like forging a 6 certificate.
Okay.
So poorly.
We did that in high school. We always did that. Like we always used to.
And I was so good at it too.
Because there was always one student that had a parent that was a doctor.
Yeah.
And he would steal the slip.
The pads, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? And we would write them in ourselves. And we would write scribbling.
Yes.
Because nobody could read doctors' writing.
Exactly.
So whenever the teacher saw all that scribble,
That's
they said,
right.
"What do you have?" And we had to say, "Oh, I have this." It's clear there. That's how we wrote it. All right? Because the teacher knows our handwriting. So
That's
they know that we
right.
didn't write that.
That's right.
And that's how we used to get away with sick days all the time.
Exactly.
Okay, so now after you kicked the habit.
Yeah. So
Alright.
I kicked a habit, but because of the seeds I'd already sowed at this particular job, it sort of caught up to me and they had to let me go.
Oh,
So it actually, I had already done it in the past, but then they'd only found out about it in the future, in the present at the time, and they had to let me go. And
Even though when they knew you were sober.
they didn't even know I was on.
They didn't even know you were on it before.
No.
But they well, I guess
You
it's
see,
gonna
so
be
to them, it was just, oh, you
Yeah.
did this mistake back there. It doesn't mean you're new now.
that impression is very hard to get rid of.
It
that
was.
reputation.
Yes.
You know,
but I'm a firm believer. Every rejection is a nudge in the right direction.
Well,
It's going to become a bit motivational.
No,
here,
that's
Magic.
great. No, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Like, see, I worked in creatives, you
Right.
know, like, and in a way, it was kind of selling because when I was working for Orbit Showtime, it was a cable television company. I was in charge of pay-per-view content,
Right.
right? So I had to create a kick-ass video for movies and shows that we were showing, so that people would want to purchase those.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? All right, and sometimes we were given very little direction, right? And we weren't given the entire film. Sometimes we were only given clips, right? So when it comes to limitations, then there's room for innovation.
Yeah, oh,
right?
that's good.
Right, so we had
good.
so we had to create another way to make it as easy, just as effective. Now, I love taking the worst movies I have ever seen in my life, and I'm talking like 3 rated star movies out of 10. Shit. Because it's my job to polish it and make it look like an Oscar-winning film for 30 seconds.
Right.
That gets people. Haven't you ever gone to those movie theaters and you watch a preview and you see the preview? It's amazing. Then when you watch the film, you're completely disappointed.
It wasn't even good.
Well, you're welcome. That's what I did for OSN.
Right.
All right.
So essentially, that is sales. You see, what most people don't realize is everybody is in sales and marketing.
Well, see, the thing, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at the point, but I was just focused on. I want to make a good product.
Yeah.
I want to make a good video. I want people to say, I saw that commercial. That was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I didn't even think about the fact that if I can sell to people or not. I just wanted them to be like, I want to see that movie.
Right.
Because of this, I want to see that movie. I had no idea I was selling. I was just making a product. The biggest challenge was getting a fantastic movie. How am I going to make it look more fantastic?
Right.
Like one of my first projects was to make a 30-second commercial on Pulp Fiction.
Ooh.
That's a hard one. All right? That's a really hard one. But I managed to pull it off. I did a kick-ass 30-second. You can find it on Magic and Dairy on my YouTube page. You'll find Pulp Fiction there.
Nice.
All right? Because I did like a bunch of promos. I was doing 3 promos a week. So I've got like over 300 that I've done the whole 3 years.
Wow.
You know? And so that was kind of something I had no idea that I was doing it. So anyway, so after now that your reputation has caught up to you, like how did you manage to overcome that?
Yeah. So obviously, well, the first thing was in the early days when I first got the job, again, highly skilled facilitator, but because of the drugs, essentially they actually said to me, I'm a diamond in the rough. Okay. Wasn't polished. And so a part of that progress through that particular workplace and that role as a facilitator was to polish the jewel.
Okay.
And so I became a more polished speaker, a more polished facilitator, a bit more organized than what I was. And then by the time I felt like I was my best, I was let go.
Oh God.
Right?
Yeah, that's got to suck.
Yeah. And so then it was like this. Well, then I basically, without getting spiritual, but you know, it was a big part of my life, I found God in that time. And so then it was like this belief, okay, I'm believing in a bigger picture because I've just been saved. You've just, you know, brought me out of this darkness essentially to the light. And now I've lost my job, which I loved. What the heck? And then I was like, okay, what can we do? All right, let's go back to job services, the unemployment, but for youth now. And so I went to the youth program and I started running my mindset program with some finances that I'd recently learned for the schools to youth. And in 4 months, they were loving it. Great results. The kids loved me, staff loved me, blah, blah, blah. I sat down for my probationary meeting, 4 months. Yep, you're going to get full-time or permanency or not. And they said, oh, Sam, we love your work, blah, blah, blah. It's amazing. The kids love you. Unfortunately.
Here we go.
Yeah. We've got your police clearance back.
Oh, shit.
And so my police clearance is basically in Australia, you know, you've got to apply for a police clearance when you're working with kids or when you're working whatever. And what happened, it came back, nothing to do with kids, but police. So DUIs, evading arrest, basically that type of stuff, drugs and that. But it was from 5 or 6 years prior.
So it becomes like a permanent record on you now.
Yeah.
So when you're 70 one day and you're about to get your
pension.
pension.
They say 7 years, but you know who knows?
But yeah, but now it is going to affect your pension one day if you live long enough.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when will they let that go? Do they not understand that there are some people that know how to rehabilitate?
Exactly.
There are some people like do you know the actor Danny Trejo?
Yeah.
Machete.
Yeah.
This guy was a criminal.
Badly.
He was a drug dealing criminal. He actually spent time in prison.
Yeah.
Right? And he got.
You talking about the Mexican guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the tats.
Yeah, the big tattoo of a woman.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. He totally turned his life around.
Yeah.
Completely. You would never expect a guy like that.
Exactly.
You see his face, you go running for the hills. He's
100%.
terrifying.
Yeah.
right? But he overcame that demon.
Yep.
You know, he steered away from drugs and crime and theft,
Yep.
right? And became basically a national treasure in Hollywood.
Yeah.
People love this guy. He used to play henchman getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal beat him up in one of his
Yeah.
films. And then he ended up killing Steven Seagal in Machete. Right? He went from a henchman to a leading man. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right? So people have to understand that I know that rehabilitation is something that doesn't come very often because once you enter a certain life, it's hard to get out of it.
It is, yeah.
Right? And it takes a lot of courage.
It does.
And it takes a lot of willpower, a lot of motivation to pick yourself up.
Yeah.
You know, and continue to move forward knowing that you fucked up so badly.
Yeah, man.
Because you have to make amends now.
You do.
Right?
First with yourself.
Yeah.
And then with the others you've hurt.
And the thing is, you can't try to convince them with your words. You have to convince them with your actions.
100%.
Right? So people have to see that
right.
you're actually
See the
have
change.
improved and
Yep.
changed. The thing is, I don't believe people change. In terms of what I mean is like mindset wise, I don't think they change, but they can change certain behaviors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like again with Danny Trejo, the guy still has a criminal mind because he was a criminal all of his life. You know what I mean? I'm sure if he saw an opportunity, he would think, "Hey, I could have done that. I could have stolen this, or I could have beaten that guy up."
Yeah.
But because he changed his outlook on things,
That's patterns.
you know what I mean?
That's patterns.
So that's what I mean about change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
It's always there.
yeah.
But you've just
But you have
created new habits.
You have the choice to either continue to be the way you were,
Yeah.
or go the opposite direction where things are getting better for you.
Exactly.
It's like you are identifying the bad, and many people who identify the bad will still do the bad because
That's what they
that's
do.
what they want to do. It's what pleases them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like how those serial killers that kill for pleasure. Now, a serial killer will never change. Once you're a serial killer, that's a firm decision.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't.
That's
you can't.
cemented.
It's for life.
Although
you know?
I have seen, again, in prisons, people that have done some crazy stuff through God change their entire self. Like they just aren't who they were.
Because they had an epiphany,
100%.
a religious epiphany.
It's a spiritual thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah. No. Spiritualism and or / religion can play a massive part in influencing your life,
100%.
provided that you accept it and understand
Yes.
it. You know, a lot of people say, "Get that shit away from me."
I know.
All right, Jesus got no place in here.
No,
You know, or
no,
Muhammad
no.
can't help me,
I
or
know.
whatever it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Because the thing is, they can't forgive themselves.
Yeah.
Or they are still angry with themselves. Right. That they think that asking for help is a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
Where it's actually
Strength.
one of the biggest strengths any
Definitely.
person can have.
Definitely. And so, so in the meeting, they said, look, unfortunately, we've got your police clearance back, and the head up, not them, not my managers, regional, the head up, the big honchos said, okay, we can't continue this employment. Which the irony was, I was helping youth who had a rough trot in life change their life and start a new life. And here I am getting fired for my old life.
Oh wow.
So the irony of it was like, are you serious?
I'm helping you not to get fired, even though I've been getting fired.
Exactly.
So you're basically you're righting the wrongs so you're paving the way for kids not to make the same mistakes you made.
Exactly.
All right, and but eventually the people that started accepting you to go to their schools, hiring you to go to schools, did they see past that?
Yeah, well, so then what happened was after I got fired from that second one in a row, mind you, I said, well, I may as well start my own business.
Yeah.
Now I've got the school context. I've got plenty of content. I'm just going to do it. And so I did. I started writing some stuff. I started approaching some schools. And pardon me, from there, we started delivering workshops. And that's 7 years ago. And now we're just growing. We're creating more workshops. We're going to more schools. We just started going interstate to a few schools. And so now it's like some certain topics that we hit. You know, habits is a big one. Mindset, attitude, stress, time management, friends. Your network is your net worth.
No, that's a good one. Network, your
You
network.
like that
I
one?
that.
Yeah,
Never heard
you
that
can
one
use
before.
that, brother. You can use that one.
Okay.
Because you will become the 5 people you hang around the most. So when I was younger, Lebo, 20 Lebos, getting drunk, what are we going to do? We're going to fight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Every weekend.
Yeah.
Fight. And then I was over it, man. I was like, I'm not violent. I don't like violence. I train martial arts, not necessarily to fight, always because I've always had this picture like you pray for peace, but you prepare for war.
Yeah, okay, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Course. You know.
Or the gardener in the war or the warrior in the garden.
Yeah.
Which one would you rather be?
Well, yeah, it's the whole pen money than the sword thing.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
My son's 11. For the last 3 months, I've been taking him to boxing.
Yes.
I could have taken him to martial arts.
Yes.
You know, but I've seen what they do with kids. You know, like it's all fun. Yeah. It's fun, but they're not learning shit. They'll still get their asses kicked by anybody.
In the street, yeah.
Right? So I took him boxing, and his first week he got a shiner.
Oh.
He got hit by his trainer because he didn't duck in time.
Oh,
He goes, Dad, you got a black eye. And I'm like, I'm proud of you, son. You got a black eye. Now you know what it's like to get hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get that toughness in him now. Now, he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't like to fight. But the thing is, okay, I got to tell this story. I'm sorry.
Go.
I got to tell this story.
Go.
I recently, as you know, I recently came back to Adelaide. I even though I was raised here for 22 years, I left for 16 years, came back on February.
Did you leave when you were...
All right.
How old did you...
I was 27, 28 when I left.
Yeah, right.
All right. And I recently came back February 2024, and my son has lived all of his life in Bahrain. All right. So I enrolled him in school. Before I came to Australia, I said to him, son, listen, we're going to Australia now. That's a white country. All right. Now, I gave you a white name, but that can only help so far. They're going to see the ethnicness. They're going to see the color of your skin. They're going to see that you have an accent, and they're going to want to make fun of you. All right? So, but just know this. Whoever messes with you, don't talk. Just throw the first goddamn punch. So I was teaching him this right now.
Right.
Little did I know how Australia got to be one big, gigantic pussy. All right, in the sense that I mean that is all these kids are sensitive. They are telling on teachers, telling on students, telling on teachers.
Snitching.
They're snitching, right? Snitches
get stitches.
Exactly right. Snitches get stitches, right? And when we used to snitch as we were kids, our teachers used to say, "Stop being a dibby dobber and go deal with it."
Don't be a dibby
You know what I
dobber.
mean? And that's how it was done. Now my son was there was this kid that was making fun of this girl. This girl. She's like 9 years old, and she just lost a mother or a father. I don't know. One of her parents she lost. And this kid was making fun of the fact that this girl lost one of her parents. You got a dead mom, or you got a dead dad, whatever. This infuriated my son. My son was furious. So what did my son do? He comes to the girl's aid and grabs the kid by the throat and goes, "Don't you talk like that to her." All right? And the big kid, named Toby, all right? And there's a reason why he's laughing because of that name. And I'm going to tell you why. He knocked my son down. Now, my son has never been in a fight before in his life.
No.
All right? But he saw that injustice. He got up and beat the crap out of him. He uppercutted him, fell to the floor, and he was kicking him. Now, for some reason, teachers are not allowed to intervene. They're not allowed to take a child off another child. They were just like saying, "Stop," and they stopped. They're like, "What kind of shit is that?" I didn't care. I'm glad I didn't touch my son. All right? So I get a call from the principal saying, "Your son is going to be suspended for the next 3 days. All right, for getting into a fight. He caused the fight." And I'm like, "He caused the fight? Okay, well, what happened? Tell me the whole story." "Well, there was this kid who provoked this girl and your son intervened." "Why didn't you start with that?
Yeah.
Why did you go straight to my son getting suspended for the next 3 days? Why?" So now, what I love about this particular story is my son showed me what he's really made of before I even took him to boxing. And he beat the shit out of a guy named Toby. Now, if you ever saw the movie Roots, you would know why I'm so happy that he beat the shit out of a white Australian trash kid named Toby. All right? I'm going to give you a little reenactment. He's whipping a black slave. "Your name is Toby." You're trying to give a black slave a white name. The black guy's going, Kinte. "No, it's Toby." Bang, bang, bang. So when my son beat the crap out of a kid named Toby, I am the happiest father ever. All right? I'm bragging this. I'm telling this to everyone. I love going to white parties and telling white people what happened. All right? I am just so proud of my son. And after that, that's when I started taking him boxing.
Right.
Right? And he wanted to brag that he's doing boxing. I said, "Son, don't tell anybody that you're doing boxing. If you're smart as shit, don't tell anybody you're smart. If you're good at boxing, if you've got any talent you have, don't show it. Unless you want to be a dancer or a singer, you show it. But other than that, don't say nothing. Because they're going to underestimate you from day one. And when they say that you got fists of fury, my friend, they're going to leave you the hell alone."
Yeah.
All right? And since then, since my son, they haven't been fucking with him.
Yeah.
They haven't been doing anything with him.
Yeah. And this is the thing, right? We know we don't edify violence, or we don't, promote it. In this world, that's the reality, is bullies pick on weak, inverted commas, weak people, or people that aren't seen as a threat for a reason, man. Because hurt people hurt people.
Exactly right. Like it took me a while to realize that the reason why this kid was bullying is because he's gone through some shit at home.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Like maybe he's getting bullied by his parents.
Yeah,
you know?
Maybe there is no love there. Maybe
yeah.
older siblings, or he's getting bullied, or he was. It's always the case. 99% of the time, it is the case.
Well, to finish that story, by the way, all right, the kid, the two kids, they are friendly.
They're friendly.
They're not friends.
Yeah,
but
friendly.
They become friendly with each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think and the thing is, like, teachers should just let kids be kids.
I know it's hard. For
you know what I
teachers
mean?
today
Now. But the thing is, this is what I'm saying this is what I mean when I'm saying Australia turned into a great gigantic pussy. Is because the teachers have no more authority.
No.
Teachers were authority figures in school.
Yes.
They weren't just there to educate.
No.
They were there to also stop things from happening. Right? If you got caught smoking, you're gonna get your ass whooped. You know what I mean? You have no business having cigarettes. You know? You didn't get suspended. You got an ass whooping. Right? Now it went from ass whooping to detention. They stopped giving ass whoopings and they just detained you.
Yes.
Which was a justifiable punishment.
Yes.
Right?
But now they send you home.
Now they just send you home. Right? And what message is that? Cool. I can smoke all I want when I get there.
Exactly.
You know what I
It's the
mean? I can
dumbest
do
thing
whatever.
I've ever seen.
It's not. They're not doing anything. Now I think how did this happen? Is because I think oversensitive parents or bitch ass parents or whatever happened. Right? They did this to my child. They made a complaint so big that they took away the balls from the teachers, both men and women. I'm talking metaphorical balls. They took that away.
Which are quite sensitive and weak when you think about it. But the testosterone within those metaphorical balls.
It's how different is it if I made a complaint that my cousin's in jail and he got beat up by one of the inmates and I'm blaming the guards. Why didn't the guards stop it? All right, and the guy's like, well, we're not allowed to touch the inmates anymore. We just because they might sue us. It's your fucking job. You're supposed to intervene. You're supposed to stop that stuff from happening. Right? I mean, kids need authority figures. Okay, parents are authority figures, but not all kids have parents that are authority figures. Many kids have parents that completely neglect them or abandon them or don't even give a crap that they're there. Right? They need that measure of discipline. Right? Kids are lacking discipline, and
that's the biggest key.
In the biggest way, and they think they know more than the people that are trying to teach them. Now, we were like that. We were smart asses.
Yeah.
When we were kids, we thought we knew more than the people who are traveling down the road, who have been down the road that we've already traveling. Now, as a motivational speaker, how the hell do you get into that mindset of those children with that attitude and persuade them to listen to reason?
Well, I have an advantage over teachers because I can share things of my personal life that teachers can't.
Okay, no, that's fantastic, and I'm sure I'm sure the teachers you got convinced. My question is, I'm a student at one of your motivational speeches, and I'm there, and I don't want to be there. I remember as a kid, an assembly, this douchebag's gonna talk and tell me how not to do this and that. And I'm like, why are you telling us this? Look what happened to your life.
Yeah.
Why now? I'm sure you get a lot of kids that would have that first impression of you.
Yeah.
What is it that you do or say that actually makes them pay attention?
Yeah, so, I have a whole opening thing, right? Like in anything, it's a hook, right? It's like on social media, the first to 4 seconds that grab you. And the number one is I'm going to put 2 words in the same sentence you never put in the same sentence. Fun and learning.
Okay.
And then I dab. And then they laugh at me nowadays because the dab is like 8 years old, right? So they laugh at me. But what that does is then lowers their guard. And they go, look at this guy. Like he's sort of looks cool, sort of looks tough, acting a bit like an idiot within the first 10 seconds. Okay, so it just lowers the guard, number one. Number two, I take them through a list of things like, what we do when we talk. Hands up, great. Where was your hand? Because most of them just yell it out. And I'll go, where was your hand? So comedy again. I just make them laugh for the first 3 minutes.
Never underestimate the power of laughter.
It's the greatest.
It is.
tool.
It is. Not only does it, not only is it the best medicine, it's also the best way to get through to people.
100%, man. And you don't have to be funny. Let them laugh at you. Laughter's
A laugh is
laughter.
a laugh.
I don't care.
A
Like I
laugh
said
is
to
a
my
laugh.
dad, I wanted to be a comedian. He said, don't be stupid. Everybody laugh at you.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point.
Thanks,
Dad.
Dad.
I like that. That's a good one. I might put that in the sketch.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. And then I open up with a story. Like, I was your age, this happened. I used to get bullied, blah, 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 this, and I did this or I did this, depending on what the topic is for that day. And then I say, mobile phones on silent in your pockets. If I see them, I take them. If I take them, I sell them. Cash money, Lebanese, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. And
Okay, and then
that's
they
a good
go,
way to
oh,
get their
shit.
attention.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And then they go, oh, this guy's funny, but damn, he's serious.
It's a little bit scary.
He's
too.
a little bit scary.
All right.
I use what I've got to my advantage.
Okay.
But the number one is nobody cares how much you know till they know how much you care.
Mm.
And so I just show them straight up that I actually care.
That you're genuine. That
Genuine,
you're not
bro. Authentic,
you're
bro.
not
Not
doing
here
this for a paycheck.
paycheck.
You're doing this because you really care.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. See, that's very refreshing.
Yeah. And then I tell them about my life. And then I give them tools how to not go down that way. And I show them, like you got to believe in yourself and don't be afraid to fail because fear kills way more dreams than failure ever will. And I tell them, when I was your age, I used to get in trouble a lot for talking. Now I get paid by teachers to talk.
Okay. Perfect. How ironic.
And
yeah.
I use attitude about that because my attitude was 23 jobs, fired from 4, but I could get a reference from almost every single one.
Okay, now that's amazing. That's very inspiring. You've have you ever gotten any feedback from certain kids that say what you said turned my life around or anything like that?
Yeah.
Have you gotten that kind of
Yeah.
response?
Should I read one?
Yeah, sure.
Should I
I mean,
read one?
why not?
I just happen to have one I prepared.
Well, there you
earlier.
go. I wasn't even thinking of asking this question. All right.
Yeah.
And if we are memorizing lines here, we must be the greatest actors of all time.
Hey, bro, thank you for sharing on our camp. Hearing your amazing testimony was so incredible. It gets better every time I hear it. I pray that God will have his hand on your ministry and that he'll be with you in everything you do. Love you, bro.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And so that one was, I was at a Christian youth camp and I get to share the testimony a bit. When I go to normal schools, because obviously you can't really say that stuff at normal schools, people get so offended and stuff.
So what constitute as an abnormal school? Like, so because you were saying normal school, like with the
Well,
sentiment.
yeah, I guess a faith school
Okay,
as opposed to a public school.
So it was. So you got
that
those
was
private,
at a faith camp.
Okay.
Right, so they said, I heard you got a testimony, would love for you to share it.
That's
Great.
right. There are private schools that are also like Sacred Heart, like
Correct.
religious
Correct.
name schools. Yeah.
And this is from a public school. Okay, I'm going to give you a first update because the results are massive. I have no idea what's happened differently this time, but whatever you've said has changed, is working drastically. I've been doing my affirmations. So this is morning and night. I tell young people to speak into their subconscious mind. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, successful, fit, and organized. Every
that's a
day,
rap
in
track.
every way, I'm getting better and better. Simple things, 6 to 10 times morning and night. Most people think, oh, yeah, that sounds gay. Like, what's that?
Yeah.
But it
yeah.
genuinely works.
Yeah, of course. No,
Okay.
of course. People, but I think the response, like, oh, this sounds gay, this sounds stupid.
Yeah.
That's just going to be 90% of the first reaction to most students.
Definitely.
Right?
Girls, though, seem to believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boys are like, oh, I'm not doing that, talking
Exactly
to
right.
myself.
Exactly right.
But
yeah.
girls are like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And they go and do it and they hit me up straight away. Oh my gosh, this changed my life. Oh my gosh, I can sleep better. Oh, I don't have nightmares anymore. This one chick goes to me, do you think it's because of the affirmations? I said, 100%, because you're reprogramming the subconscious mind. Like It's
Okay.
like a computer.
That's amazing. Like now, since Australia has changed, the world has changed so much. I mean, I believe 20 years ago, people, not just children, were mentally stronger. I believe they were better educated because I really think that technology, as great as it is, has dumbed us down.
It
in
has
many ways.
dumbed us down.
Right now, like what you could have said 20 years ago, you could have said anything in the whole world and gotten away with it. Do you feel that now, because of these sensitive times and how pussy Australia has gotten, right, that you have to really watch your words, or how you have to reword certain things so that you won't get any complaints about, being vile, or you accidentally offend anybody? Because we're living in a society where people will get offended in summer if the sky is not blue enough.
Yeah, well, this is what's crazy. Two things. Number one, offense has to be taken. Right? Mm-hmm. You actually have to take offense. Right? Think about the world we live in. So that's on you to take the offense. That's not on me. I say whatever I want. You can be like, what an idiot.
Yeah.
Or you can choose to take offense.
Hence the saying, no offense, none taken.
None taken.
You know what I mean?
You got to take it.
Yeah, no, you can acknowledge it.
Yeah,
you can take it, but you don't have to act like a pussy about it.
All right.
Yeah.
So I got heaps of these stories, but I'll give you a quick one. So I'm at a school. I won't drop your name. But you know what the school is. A whole bunch of that year level. A big part of what I do, we do squats. Okay, squats is an easy movement. Most people can do it. Doesn't matter your body weight or weak or athletic or not. It's pretty simple. And we push to around 20, depending on the age of the group. And then we hold in that position. And so we're just getting lactic acid. It's not going to kill you, okay? It's going to hurt a little bit, but no pain, no gain.
Yeah.
So we start to do the squats. These girls come in late, they sit in the back, and then as we're doing the squats, I can see the commotion. I'm up on the stage and I sort of stop and I say, what's going on? Teachers. And they're, these girls can't do the squats. And I said, I'm thinking maybe there's a medical condition. Or, no worries. Why? Like, do you mind if I ask why? Their skirts are too short. To which me, being the comical genius that I am in the moment, and my mind just speaking too quick for my mouth to catch up, says, well, they should have listened to their fathers. Boom. And I kept going. Perfect. Everyone laughed. I'm talking 300 students laughed. I laughed. We moved on. Now, when I book sessions, I book like multiple sessions at a time. So I do one, I come back, and we booked a series of sessions. I get an email saying, hey, we're going to have to postpone this, blah, blah, blah. Oh, what's going on? We got some great feedback, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, this word unfortunately comes up a few times in my life. We got negative feedback about misogynistic comments.
Oh, come on.
Misogynistic.
You know what? I'm gonna add to this alleged misogynist bullshit. Okay.
Well, and this is the other part. Is there was this big thing is I can wear what I want and do what I want and say what I want.
Well, you can.
Well, then I can say what I want.
Exactly.
Do you understand how that works in the same way? Like the same respect you want to wear whatever you want. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
You don't have to take offense from that, just like I don't take offense from what you wear or what you do.
Yeah.
You do you, boo. But not if it affects me. How, man? Okay? So I meant it lightheartedly with love. Now, how I know that it was actually well received by the majority was that I saw these kids later, like weeks later, because I was coming to that school for something else. Where have you been? What's going on? I thought we'll do it. And I was like, yeah, look, this is it. And they were like, and I asked them, girls, was that offensive? Like, did you? They're like, no, we all laughed. It was hilarious.
So who found it offensive?
Exactly.
The teachers? The teachers?
2 out of the 10.
All right. Now, see, this is what really upsets me. This is what my biggest pet peeve is. Now, this is my theory. I believe white people, we're coming to an end.
Yes.
I believe white people like to look for trouble. They actually go out of their way to look for trouble.
Right.
And in the sense that I mean, like, there was a scenario where this Asian kid was getting made fun of. Okay? And the Asian kid, he wasn't getting made fun of. They just said something that was funny, like stereotypically funny. And the Asian kid was kind of laughing. And then the white people said, you should not say that. And he goes, why? That's offensive. And they were like, their first question was like, bitch, are you Asian? He goes, no. Why the fuck are you being offended? All right? And the Asian kid, no, this is funny. I'm not offended. I know these guys know what they're saying.
Yeah.
Now, white people are wanting to be offended on the behalf of other cultures. So they want to play the victim and they want the sympathy, but without going through that journey.
Yeah.
So stop it.
Yeah.
If somebody called me a wog, I don't want a white person to say, hey, that's offensive. I love it.
Yeah.
It's what I am. It's what you made us
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
and to believe. So you perpetuated this attack, this racial attack. So don't get offended for something that you have done to us. It doesn't make any sense. If somebody was making fun of white people, I'm not going to feel offended for that white person. I'm not going to be like, I know what it's like to be white. I don't. If I knew what it was like to be white, I'd be having a $150,000 a year salary. All right? All right. If I knew what it was like to be white, I can get out of a speeding ticket. If I knew what it was like to be white, I can get a bank loan without having to dye my hair blonde and get blue contacted for my eyes. All right. So what I'm saying is stop it. Just fucking stop it. And finally, I want to say you can't be racist against white people. How can you be racist against a white people who started racism themselves? It's their language. If I'm going to make fun of anything, the first thing that white people have done when they've discovered any country was kill them because they weren't white. Christopher Columbus discovered the US, killed the natives. Captain Cook discovered Australia, killed black aboriginals, right? So their first opening language to us is, you're not like us, we don't like you, we're going to kill you. So if we say white boy, white trash, white whatever, that's your language. You taught us this. You can't get offended, right?
Interesting.
That's just my point of view. It's my pet peeve.
And again, that's okay for you to have the view. This is
I'm
the
allowed
whole
to say
purpose.
this. If you don't like, look. If this is on the video and you're scrolling down and you catch this video, God gave you opposable thumbs.
Yes.
You can just pass it.
You can.
You don't have to make a comment and say how pissed off or offended you
Yeah.
are. You can just pass it. I see shit that I don't like all
Yeah.
the time.
Just
right?
slide
and I
up.
just scroll.
Scroll up.
Don't need to see it.
Yeah.
I don't need to make a comment either because they're not worth my time.
Well, so yeah, that's the other thing, right? So that was one thing. Then the other thing was, the world was going so wild for a while there, and probably still is, but there was a character. I'm not even going to mention his name.
But we know that you're a his.
We know you are a him.
Yeah.
And he took the world by storm, and particular young men. And he was a positive influence on young men. Did he do everything right? No. Did he make all the great choices? No. Did he have opinions and even things that he did that I disagreed with? Yes. But could I still admire some things about him and what he said? 100%. And yet when I mentioned this in certain schools or even on social media, I got smashed for it, man.
No, but see that
I got smashed for it,
And you
man.
shouldn't have had
How
to.
can you share him? And it was just like, man, I don't understand, man. What's wrong with you guys? I don't even agree with everything Majid does, thinks, or
Fuck you,
says.
man.
Exactly.
I know.
And it's like, when we grew up, we didn't have to get taught resilience. Now schools employ me. Can you teach our kids about resilience? Yeah, life, people. That's how you learn it.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
can
live it.
teach you how to ride a bike, but at the end of the day, you got to get on the bike and ride it.
Exactly right.
I can teach you about resilience. I can't teach you resilience.
Yeah, to be resilient. No, of course not.
You have to go through that. And a big part of that is learning to sit with and love those who don't think or talk or act like you. We can be friendly, like you said, you and your son and this guy. We don't have to be friends.
No.
We can be friendly and not be friends. That's cool too.
But we are indeed friends. Just
We are.
to put that into
Yeah, we go way back,
But,
actually.
there's not going to be a behind the scenes where we're going to beat the shit out of each other in the backyard. All right. Now, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, they scream misogyny.
Yeah,
they
misogyny is a
they
big
scream
one, man.
offensiveness.
What the heck?
Like
They don't scream misandry because that's what all you are doing. You actually hate men. None of us hate women.
No, we've never hated women.
No, we
right?
love women.
And here's
Yous are
something
the best.
And here's something that you chicks have to know. Even when we were kids and we had a crush on the girls, we put all girls on a pedestal. The pretty ones, the not so pretty ones, the fat ones, the freckled ones. We put them all on a pedestal because we used to believe that you were the prize.
Yeah.
If we were to attain you,
you are the
were
prize.
the prize because you gave us that motivation to come after you without even trying. All right, but with all this feminist bullshit, and many of you have actually used feminism and turned it into a battle against men. You don't even know. Most of you don't even know what the word feminism means.
It's actually true. Yeah.
Like you would just disagree with men simply because they are men.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You've actually lost that privilege of us putting you at a pedestal, and now we actually put you 6 feet under, no pun intended of murdering you, but we just, what we do is like, we don't look up to you anymore. We look down on you, and you only have yourselves to blame, because we ain't competing, and we ain't trying to battle you, and we ain't trying to fight you. We're not trying to disagree with you, right? We want you to, we want to look at you the way we used to. We want you to be the prize again, but you've lost that privilege. You guys have to think about that. So whenever we make fun of anything, we're not making fun of the entire female gender. We just see an opportunity to make a joke, and it's funny, and they laugh. And girls used to laugh.
I know.
When we were kids, they used to laugh, and they used to get us back. It's called playing the dozens. You make fun of somebody, they turn around and make fun of you back, instead of always having to get into a fist fight.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, with all that done, so you've said some things that have hurt people.
Yeah.
But you've helped more than you've hurt.
100%.
Now, you've gone through many schools here in Adelaide alone.
Yeah.
Have you travelled anywhere outside of Adelaide?
Yeah, I've gone to Sydney and Brisbane, Darwin.
So you give talks all around Australia.
Yeah.
Right? And you've helped, and you've gotten great feedback, I'm sure.
Great feedback. Yeah.
Where can people find your content to know more about Sam, AKA Sekseed?
Instagram.
I love that. It sounds like Sekseed, but it's got that little sex part into it. Makes it sexy. But it's not with an X, it's with a K, which makes it even better.
That's right.
So continue. You got an Instagram page.
Yeah, Sekseed, SEKSEED.
Wonderful.
See what we do in schools, and reach out. If you're a teacher, principal, you want me out at school, hit me up, man.
Okay. Well, Sam just motivated me to want to make another third episode for this show. So Sam, thanks for being my guest, man. Thanks for joining me. All right, and good luck on all your endeavors, man. Continue shaping the young minds, and if you can make them be less offended more and more every day, then I know you're doing your job right.
It.
All right, thanks for joining me on The Magic Hour, and I hope to see you for episode 3. Peace out, y'all. I'm broke, bitch.